Alright, what is up, YouTube and VTang? I would appreciate it if you didn't. um, so, for those of you that play 2K or MyTeam, 2K came out today and dropped some new Spotlight challenges. I'll show you guys the graphic here. And this is a huge W on 2K's part, mind you. People have been asking for Spotlight challenges for a while, so they dropped a final Sim Spotlight. As it says, 50 new Spotlight challenges, 11 new rewards cards, and honestly, it's some pretty decent content. Again, I'll show you guys all of this before I jump into the game. Alright, so if you go to my collection and go to rewards, final Spotlight Sim, you can see all the rewards players here. So you have Michael Cooper, Willis Reed, Shane Batty, Horace Grant, Bruce Bowen, Dennis Johnson, Marc Gasol, Paul Pierce, Kevin McHale, and Dennis Rodman. So they're actually giving out 5 free opals here in the top row. On top of which, if you get all these cards, which basically you get by beating all these challenges, you get the GOAT edition of Larry Bird, which is a huge W for this game. And honestly, I'm stoked. I'm personally really excited about popping Larry Bird into the lineup. I reckon he'd probably be my starting small forward. I'll show you guys the lineup in a second. But yeah, just in general, they're giving away some really good cards. So I actually already played the first game. For this series this morning, and I'm starting off the 2010s personally because the 2010s, the reward is Marc Gasol, and Marc Gasol just fits so perfectly into my lineup that he's going to be the first one that I'm going after. So yeah, as you can see, ran the first challenge here against the Lakers this morning. They got a bunch of these. You can see you pick up like guys like Shane Batty along the way here, and then once you beat all of it, you get Marc Gasol. 2000s Paul Pierce, Dennis Rodman's for the 90s, so on and so forth. Yeah, this is just a really easy way to improve your team and a really fun way to play this game without, necessarily constantly popping online, playing against those guys that just make you sweat all game. And you guys know exactly who I'm talking about if you play 2K. They're the guys that play like full court, press defense and everything, and just make you run like a madman the entire game. It's really annoying. Anyways, I'm going to start this off here in terms of gameplay with Mavericks. I'm going to talk about some stuff here, mostly how excited I am that the NBA is going to be back and other such, discussing possible sleeper teams that might make it to the finals, and then just whatever comes into the moment at the time. So the Mavericks team that we're going to be going up against here to start it off, there you have it. That's a lot of decent players. Between Jason Kidd, Peja Stojakovic, Dirk Nowitzki, who's at this glitched card, so he's playing small forward, which is really stupid, but don't even get me started. Yeah, Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler, pretty decent squad, but I think this one's pretty okay too. I was sitting on a lot of MT for a while because I was saving it until the end of the year. Then I kind of just got to that moment where I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to buy some cards and add to the lineup. Like, I got these 2 guys who dropped yesterday. Magic Johnson's another guy I got recently who I'm a huge fan of. Nikola Jokic's point guard card, which is such a cheat code. Don't even get me started. Klay Thompson, who's my all-time favorite shooting release in 2K. Like, it's not even close. T-Mac, Dwight, Timmy D, a couple other guys. So the rotation here is what it is. I'm only running a 10-man rotation, so the last 3 guys here, D Rose, Aguirre, and James Harden, aren't going to see in the court unless it's a blowout. Anyways, I think I've dragged this on for long enough in terms of an intro. Let's hop right into the game. This is one of those games where I'm really happy to have Pascal Siakam at the small forward spot because a guy like Dirk Nowitzki, in terms of his size, could absolutely just break this game. And obviously, I don't want that happening, so it's a good matchup for me, is what I'm saying. And now that I noticed the comment, hey, listen, I'm a bit of a Toronto man's. I've definitely met more Toronto mans than I am. But yeah, still, just a bit of a Toronto man's. And hey, if I'm a noob, all that means is this is just gonna be a closer game, and it's gonna be funner to watch because I suck at it. So it'll be a 5-point game instead of 20. So boom, all concerns are answered. Ugh, yeah. RIP to Kobe. Obviously, things have kind of taken a turn for the worst in 2020. Ever since he passed away, obviously things were not that great beforehand, but it kind of seems like Kobe was really keeping it all together for humanity, and now we're just spiraling downwards out of control, which is a whole lot of fun. Not. Oh, hell no. Woo. Oh, God, no. And that's a great start. Oh, Joel Embiid might be one of the cleanest releases on a big man in this game. I'm sorry, why is nobody covering him? Oh, jeez. So one of my favorite things to do in 2K is just have a tall point guard to absolutely abuse the game. Because as soon as you start posting up and you get some buckets down low, obviously Jason Kidd's actually a pretty good cover. But once you start abusing, you start scoring a lot with your tall point guard, you're going to draw a lot of double teams and offline at least. And it's just a really easy way to get some points. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. It is what it is. I'm wondering, just because Jason Kidd is a little bit on the bigger side of a point guard, if Magic Johnson is going to draw the double teams against Kidd as much as he would against somebody that's like, say, a 6'2" point guard. But we'll see how it goes. Obviously, there's a lot of shooting on my team, which I'd love to absolutely take advantage of. Speaking of. Boom. Tray ball. All right, baby, the fast break. And we are running it wild here to start the game. The first game that I did of this series when I was up against the Lakers, it was a really close game for the entirety of the first half. I think it was like a 6-point game at halftime, and then it turned into like a 40-point game by the end of it. So, not saying that's a prognosis of how things are going to go here, but definitely off to a hot start. So now that there's a timeout, the NBA season is coming back. And I'm just absolutely thrilled because these last few months, obviously everybody knows, haven't been the best, and I personally, as I'm sure most people out there, I really miss live sports so much. And obviously basketball and football in particular are my favorite, and football's obviously out of season right now, so Like, normally we'd all be sitting here, we'd be watching the NBA playoffs right now, and there'd just be so much going on, and instead it's just kind of everything came to a halt, obviously for a good reason, but I'm just excited now that the NBA officially approved the plan to resume the season. And I gotta say there's a lot of excitement about this potential format and just kind of the scenarios that you can think of here, because so many aspects like home court advantage and maybe the momentum teams have built up and like the chemistry kind of have go out the window or have to be reestablished. So there's a lot of potential to have a really cool end to the season here. And Jason Kidd, I'm guessing, has never yammed like that in his life. Oh. Come on, Tyson. How are you going to do me like that? Pull up? I think so. I really love abusing transition threes. In this game, I think that's probably my favorite shot by a mile. Unless it's Magic Johnson, then we're doing an alley. Woo! Woo! Pascal, especially like out of all these new cards, the new opals, has got to be one of the smoothest scorers in the game. His jumper is so easy to hit. He's so ridiculously athletic, such a good finisher. There's so much to like about that card. It's honestly, I don't know if I would quite put it as my favorite card, but it is most definitely up there. Oof, tough miss. And that's a bad pass. Again. I hate these opals sometimes. Because, like, you do not anticipate a freaking Jason Kidd dunking on anybody's head. But obviously he very much so can do that in this game here. And yeah, I'm not drawing the double here, so let's see how this goes. Woo! Magic hitting a three-pointer in somebody's face. And again, realism went out the window definitely a good few months ago at this point. 2K's been doing whatever they want with cards. There's a Shaquille O'Neal that can shoot threes. like Steph Curry, which just that was the point where I officially thought 2K got ridiculous. I really thought I was going to get that dunk in before the buzzer, but no. I mean, strong start in terms of scoring. Defense could be a little better, but yeah. But yeah, NBA season coming back, right? So I think the funniest thing about the season resuming is there's 22 teams obviously resuming with the season coming back. And they invited a few teams obviously just outside of the playoff picture to come compete. And it's funny because on the west side, I think you have it down to the 13th seed were invited. And on the east, it's just the Wizards. It's just the one team. So it really goes to, I guess, goes to show you where the power balance is in the NBA right now. Although I do think the East is very much so top heavy and a little bit better in that sense maybe than the West, but I also think the better contenders are out West. Like the Clippers and the Lakers are all probably only rivaled by the Bucks, maybe the Raptors and the Celtics. But I just think those first three teams, being the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Bucks, are on pretty much their own level. And I'm so sorry, Jason Kidd just hit that. Yeah, okay. Come on, why is there no double team? That's fine. I'll just score it myself then. Oh, I love this Nikola Jokic card. A 7-footer playing point guard is absolute abuse. Oh, there's the double. You love to see it. I love drawing double teams in this game because, I mean, when everybody on the court on your team can shoot, yes, that's even including Dwight Howard. He has a B+ 3-pointer. But yeah, my point being, when everybody on your team can shoot, it just makes it really fun to play. I remember probably earlier in the year when I had Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons on this team, and then T-Mac all playing together. As soon as damn it, as soon as Ben Simmons would draw that double because he's a taller point guard, it was just pretty much an automatic bucket between T-Mac and Kevin Durant. Jesus, thank you. That input delay is awful. Oh, just went out of bounds. Oh God, I love those Miami Vice jerseys though. By a mile, the best jerseys in basketball, and I will not be told otherwise. Where the hell do you think you're putting that shot up? Kobe. Nope. Alright, let's do a patented fadeaway for Kobe. Oh, come on. That's supposed to drop. Maybe I am a noob. Oh! Oh! God damn, that's a vicious block. Alright, so we're into the next timeout, so I'm just going to use a lot of these, I would say, to kind of, you know, talk some basketball, like real life basketball, not 2K. Even though obviously I will also talk 2K, but I'll do that during the actual gameplay. Anyways, so in terms of the NBA season restarting, I think one of the interesting things to consider is, you know, when you don't have the issues of travel, when you don't have these crowds, and it's pretty much just an environment where it's kind of just pick a basketball, things might change in terms of, you know, who you necessarily consider your contenders, who you pick as a team going far. There was a NBA countdown segment on ESPN where they were talking about potential like sleeper teams that could come out, and two of the teams that were talked about were the Rockets and the Celtics, which I think are absolutely two of the best choices there. I think the Celtics would definitely be one of those teams that performs better when it's kind of just that neutral environment. The Rockets in particular was more so for the pickup element, where that's just a tough team to guard in a game of pickup where everybody can spread the floor and shoot like that. So it'll be interesting to see if those guys can make a maybe more of an extended push in the playoffs now that you throw in some of the conventional matters of how basketball goes out the window. So yeah, that is a thing. Alley-oop. Woo. That Timmy D yams like crazy. Also, the if you think the cheerleaders in this game are over animated, you should see the dancing kids. Hopefully they'll pop on at some point in this game. And one, no, not that time. Oh, come on. Some of these shots that drop are absolutely ridiculous. Ooh, where'd you go? Oh, oh, that was sweet. Magic Johnson is so explosive for somebody that's, 6'9". Not to say you can't be explosive at that height, but just, I don't know, like this particular card is just way more explosive, I would say, than you would anticipate Magic to be. Oh, I found a oh, none of that went how I wanted, but... And one? No. Eh. How the hell is he hitting that? Like, how the hell is this guy pulling up in transition with two guys in his face, off balance, and it green lights? That's absolutely nuts. God, I love that Jokic card. It's funny, I actually, I have a basketball group chat where it's like super active, and there's one dude in there that just irrationally does not like Jokic just because he's chubby. And he's just like, somebody like that can't be good at basketball when, I mean, obviously Nikola Jokic is probably the best setter in basketball, depending on whether or not you find it's him or Embiid, but I just think it's really funny. Speaking of that same group chat, there's a buddy of mine in there named Peter Madani. Shout out to him. Probably the best 2K player I know by a mile. So he's in Australia, for those of you who don't know. And he should be waking up, I would say, in maybe like an hour or so. And when he sees that there's both a free Opal Paul Pierce and a GOAT edition Larry Bird waiting for him, I guarantee that dude is gonna freak. He's gonna, if he could, he would do a backflip. Naturally, this is all because he's a Celtics fan. Definitely one of the biggest homers I've ever met in my life in terms of sports fandom, but great guy. Absolutely great dude. Shout out to you wherever you are. Oh, goodness me. So I think the first half stats are pretty favorable in my in my direction. I think at this point it's really just I don't want to say coasting this one home, but just letting this game finish the way it absolutely should, because there's a clear advantage here, and I think I've got it. Oh, give me that. That's food. They're really going to let Jason Kidd guard Hakeem Olajuwon in the post. That is nuts. I mean, they call the man the dream for a reason. Probably one of the best post repertoires in NBA history. I mean, Hakeem's the guy that you go to when you want to learn how to play in the post. That's where LeBron learned how to play in the post. You had that one summer where LeBron was really kind of criticized for not being as good in the post as he should have been, considering, he's 6'8", 6'9", and as big as he is. I think this would have been the year after Miami lost against the Mavericks, where LeBron was catching a lot of heat. So I believe that was the summer that he went to work out with Hakeem Olajuwon. And yeah, crap. Definitely came back with way more of a post game than he already had, and it was just a scary sight, because that's when LeBron was really just peaking. Absolutely peaking as a player. To this day, I would still say LeBron's best season individually probably would have been I want to say it was 2012-2013 when they repeated against the Spurs, because that year he had everything going. That was the year where his shooting numbers were consistent all year. He was playing defense so well that he really could have, and in my opinion should have, won Defensive Player of the Year. He just he turned in one of the all-time great seasons. I think everything he accomplished that season, plus the gold medal, he was I believe it's only the second player in NBA history to ever do it. Obviously, Michael Jordan being the first. So, you know, it's good company to have. Oh, man. It's funny, I actually just got a text from one of my boys who was on the stream saying that he got offended by the fact that I said Peter was by far the best 2K player I've ever seen. And now I'm gonna stand by that take. Like, I've gotten a couple of games off Pete here and there, but no, when this dude's in his zone, he'll slap you by like 40 points. There was one time when I wasn't that good at 2K where I was versing Pete, and I started playing somebody else, and then midway through the game, I think I was up like 40 or 50 points or whatever, and Pete said that he would hop on and bring the game back. You know, and I said, nah, no way. So he hopped on the sticks, and yeah, it ended up being a close game by the end of it. I still ended up winning the game, but I mean, considering I got a 40-point head start, nah, man. Dude's crazy when he's locked in. While we're talking about MyTeam and everything, I'm a little surprised that they gave Larry Bird a GOAT card. I mean, don't get me wrong, Larry Bird is definitely one of the greatest players to play in basketball. But just when I think of the GOAT conversation, when I think of the debate there, Larry Bird isn't necessarily one of the first few people that pop into my head. Like, I don't know, off the top of my head, I would probably have Larry somewhere between the I want to say the 6 to 10 range. I don't know where in the 6 to 10 range. Probably closer between like 6 to 8. But I mean, even when I compared him to some of the other guys that I anticipate are gonna get a GOAT card, which is LeBron and Kareem, who still don't have it, and obviously Kobe and Michael already do. I mean, I love Larry, and he's obviously an all-time great and obviously a top 10 player of basketball, but I do think there is a little bit of separation between the LeBrons and the Kareems and the Michael Jordans in this conversation. Kobe's a little more debatable. But yeah, when you're comparing them to... Jesus, that is not where I wanted to throw that pass. Yeah, when you're comparing not Magic, when you're comparing Kareem... Sorry, I'm losing. When you're comparing Larry up against those guys, it's just... it's a little tough to justify, if you ask me. But that being said, I'm sure there'll be about, I want to say like 6 GOAT cards that they'll drop this year, maybe even 7. Depending. It depends. I think Bill Russell, I think LeBron, I think Kareem are all still going to get GOAT cards. I think Magic Johnson might still get a GOAT card as well. And then obviously Larry just got one, so yeah. Just makes you think about who you really would consider in that conversation. I don't think Shaq or anybody like that is going to be popped in there, but you never know. You never know what 2K is going to do. They've already dropped multiple versions of a lot of opals, so. Oh, I was really hoping it was going to take that up stronger. God, I still find it ridiculous that there's a Dirk Nowitzki card that's a shooting guard small forward listed. Like, who asked for that card, man? Who can't score with Dirk Nowitzki at the power forward spot that they need that kind of height advantage at the wings? That's crazy, man. Ooh. God, that Jokic is really deceptively good on defense. Pretty much just for his size alone, but still. I don't know if Tim Duncan's ever shown that much flash on a dunk in his life. When I think Tim Duncan, I think of him yelling 2 hands for safety before he dunks. That being said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Dude's one of the all-time greats for sure. Would probably be towards the end of my top 10 list if I'm looking at the best players of all time. Another conversation that's really interesting to have is who might have been higher up on that list if they hadn't maybe necessarily had injuries plague them throughout their career. And one of the first guys, I bring it up because one of the first guys when I think of that is I look at Tracy McGrady and I just think to myself that this dude went through so much injury problem. So many injury problems. I just think to myself, like, if T-Mac was fully healthy for his entire career and not saddled by injuries, how much greater of a player would he have been than what he already was? Because we already think of T-Mac in a really high regard. Just imagine if he had like the durability of a LeBron or something, you know? Dude easily could have pushed for, I don't want to say top 10, maybe just outside of it, but he would definitely be up there. And hell, while I'm talking about the dudes that I see out here on the court, let me see if I can drop some hot takes. I remember when I got this channel back up and going, one of the first videos that I did was the Would You Rather video. And I remember saying that I would rather have prime Dwight Howard over Anthony Davis. And that's, to me, such a tough conversation to have because I think the only thing that really separates a decent bit in my mind is I find Dwight elevated his team so much more. And it's funny because I kind of look at AD and I almost think that in terms of natural talent and obviously in terms of being skilled, I think he has the advantage on Dwight for sure. But it just Dwight's game just translated way better in terms of Orlando being a successful team than the New Orleans Pelicans being a successful team with AD. It's weird. It's almost like I feel like AD is a more skilled, more talented player, but I absolutely think that a prime Dwight Howard elevates a team more. I feel like that makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. I'm not giving myself enough credit. Oh my god, I love that Jokic. This guy started backing away like he made the shot, and it just bricked right off. Come on, man. That's a straight up catfish. Whew. You know, with the free opals that 2K drops in Triple Threat, I think Mark Aguirre is definitely one of the best ones that they dropped all year. The dude is a defensive monster. And I mean, if I was a budget player, which I definitely was for a while there, Mark Aguirre would definitely be one of the top guys I would be running. Oh, let's see this matchup. JJ Barea guarding Jokic. I didn't think they were going to let that happen either. Come on, D-Rose. That's the second time you've had an open shot and you've just missed it. And I say he's had an open shot like I'm not the one shooting it, but I don't know. I plead the fifth. It's not my fault. Yeah, it's gonna be money. Yeah, happy to be wrong. James Harden with the patented snatchback, step back shot. You love to see it. So obviously this game's a bit of a blowout, so I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting here and let me drop some hot takes based on guys I see on the court. And I'll start with just the one that I'm controlling right now because it's the easiest to think of. I think James Harden by the end of his career is going to have a strong argument for one of the best players in NBA history, if not the best player in NBA history to never win a ring. I think James Harden is really underrated in his own way by NBA fans because he's not like his brand of basketball absolutely isn't the prettiest to watch. He's pretty cut and dry about how he wants to get his offense, which I don't know, catches a lot of hate from NBA fans that just want to be entertained, and that's super fair. But to Harden's credit, he's found a way to be effective and he's maximizing that. So, I mean, if it works for him, it works for him. And that being said, he's definitely one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, and I feel like I don't hear people talking about that enough. I mean, there definitely is a crowd of NBA fans that appreciates Harden the way he should be appreciated, but I feel like the vast majority of the NBA community and of NBA fans really don't give him his due as much as, you know, he really deserves. Let's see, who else do we have? This isn't really the best collection of players to drop hot takes on, but here, I can address one more here. And yikes. In one of my prediction videos for the NBA playoffs, I had the Sixers potentially upsetting the Celtics in the first round if things were reseeded 1 through 16. And I mean, even, like if they just matched up. And my driving force behind that take was I thought Joel Embiid could absolutely dominate a series against the Celtics. And I mean, I still do. It'll be interesting to see how Philadelphia looks when they come back because obviously everything went wrong for that team. In terms of they weren't healthy, the chemistry was bad, Al Horford started to show his age. Just, it felt like anytime something could either go poorly or well for them, it went poorly. But they're still just such an incredibly talented team. Embiid, when he's healthy, is obviously one of the two best centers in the league, and I think he's borderline a superstar when he's healthy. I don't know if I'd quite list him as a superstar, but if he's not a superstar, he's just off, you know? Mind you, when I think of superstars, I only think of like 7 guys, which is why I say I think he's kind of like just teetering on the outskirts of that. But he would definitely be the best player in that series, with all due respect to Jason Tatum, who's definitely up there as well. It's tough because the Celtics are definitely a much better team than the Sixers, but between Ben Simmons and between Joel Embiid, I think there's potential for them to really wreck a series if things are clicking. You just kind of wish that the Sixers had better role players, and it's funny because this is also a conversation I've had with friends of mine where we were discussing the fact that there's so many good role players that walked out the door for the Sixers that would be great fits around guys like Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, kind of guys like Robert Covington, JJ Redick obviously come to mind, that they're fantastic fits with those guys, and especially in particularly Simmons, I would say. Hold on. Money. And it's a real shame that Philly let them walk out the door. I even think a guy like Jimmy Butler could have been a great fit for that team going forward, but he obviously took his talents to South Beach. All right, so that wraps up the first game. I think I'm gonna do one more. This one was very obviously not close, like at all. Past the first quarter. I'm gonna take just like a 1-2 minute break just to drink some water, catch my breath here, and I will be right back with you guys. All right. So let's check out the box score here real quick. So Joel Embiid leads the way in terms of scoring. Klay Thompson was the leading rebounder on this team. Okay. And then a clean split in terms of the leading assist man. And oh my god, Nikola Jokic absolutely dominated on the defensive end. Things that you don't hear in real life for 500. Jeopardy reference in case nobody got that. But yeah, thought that game went pretty well. I'm gonna do one more game, like I said. I can't remember who the next team is. I think it might be Miami, or it might be. Yeah, you gotta figure it'd be Miami, right? So, oof, are we going up against LeBron in the next game? Because, oh, yes, we are. Jesus, this is such a depressing point. Just 3 matchups with the Warriors. But you do have to love to see your defending champion Raptors at the end here. I'll actually get into them in a little bit, but let's look at this Miami team that we're going to go up against. Yeah. Alright, so you got point guard LeBron, which might be one of the few players that will definitely not be consistently drawing a double against Magic. So that's going to be a great matchup. Kobe and Wade, that Dwayne Wade is probably one of the 5 best cards in 2K right now. So that'll be a really good matchup too. I mean, I have a very obvious advantage at the power forward spot, but besides for that, man, this is going to be... This might not go that well for me. Yeah, crap, we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to hop right into it. Actually, I lied. I'm going to show you guys the lineup one more time. So these are the starters. Hakeem, Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson. Off the bench, you have Nikola Jokic, point guard. Klay Thompson, Tracy McGrady, T-Mac, and Dwight Howard. And then these are nice little bench warmers over here. It's more or less what the minutes look like. And yeah, let's get it going. Oh crap, actually, I'm guessing this team doesn't really have much of a bench, because I actually have a pretty fair advantage in the overalls. Oh, we get to rock the Miami Vice jerseys against Miami, though. That's going to be a fun time. I wonder if I'm going to be on the road for all of these. I have been for every challenge so far, I think, so it might just be straight Miami Vice jerseys all series long. Alright, folks. So, without having the opportunity to cheese this game in terms of having a tall point guard and double team, my skills on the stick, which are average, are going to be put to the test a little bit because I don't know, I won't be able to use magic as much. I'll actually have to work for my buckets because LeBron's going to absolutely be a hell of a matchup. Oh my god, they're wearing the white hot jerseys. Those are some of my favorite jerseys of all time. It's a good start. I absolutely love the driving kick game. That's why I love having Magic Johnson. He feels perfect for that kind of play style. The height helps too. These are probably my two favorite jersey styles that Miami have had in the same game. This is really great. Speaking of Miami, I think in general they just have the nicest jerseys in the NBA, and I don't really think it's much of a debate, to be honest. Okay, I was really hoping that was going to drop. Naturally, I mean, never really hope for your shots to miss. But yeah, Miami just by far nicest jerseys in the NBA. I wouldn't say that's really close. Can't even really think of another team that consistently puts out just straight fire jerseys like Miami does. Why does 2K keep switching me the wrong person? Although that's a great block by Kobe. Ooh, that's a hell of a putback. Alright, so the shooting doesn't look as good to start this game, but there's time. There's time to pick it up. I swear, if he hadn't won that, I would have logged off the game. No, I definitely would. I wouldn't have, but I feel like 2K... Actually, I feel like every game in general just has like this horrible thing where it makes you want to like rage quit. Like, just off the top of my head, the three games I think of are 2K, Madden, and FIFA. They're all just notorious in my memory for like making me want to just quit the game, either just like log off the application or hell, like chuck a controller every now and then. I remember my worst memory of 2K one time was, this is still back on the old console generation when I had an Xbox 360. I think I was doing an NBA My Career, and my team was just, oh my god, first of all, that dunk. And my player ended up hitting a go-ahead bucket to put us up 2 with like maybe a second on the clock. And they had no timeouts. Kyrie catches that. I was going up against the Cavaliers. I missed that part. But yeah, Kyrie caught that shit, chucked it from just over half court, and hit it. And I lost the game on that. It was ridiculously upsetting. I think that's the most upset I've ever been with 2K. That being said, I mean, still won the series 4-1, so could have been worse. I feel like Madden has the, out of all like the major sports titles, I feel like Madden definitely has like the glitchiest plays though. The ones that you just kind of look at and you're just like, no, what is going on? This makes no sense whatsoever. 2K I feel like is notorious for being more irrational, I would say, than glitchy. I mean, don't get me wrong, 2K can definitely be super glitchy, but just seeing some shots miss because somebody just breathes on a guy and it's like Hall of Fame difficulty, it's insane. It's like, you're telling me that like LeBron can't take a contested layup just because a guard sneaks under him at the last second and whispers in his ear like, "Hey man, what's going on? Can I contest your shot there for a second? Can I just slow you down?" Like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. This will be an interesting matchup. LeBron and Jokic. That point guard LeBron card is definitely... If I could pick one card that I would really want right now, it would definitely be the PG LeBron. That being said, he still sells for like 1.5 mil, so I sure as hell am not going to be getting that card anytime soon. Oh, come on with that rim roll. That's bullshit. And this is also a reality where Shane Battier skies right above the defense for the slam. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Stop moving around, Dwight. Alright. Hot takes while we're looking at the guys on the court. Is Klay Thompson the best? How do I put this? Oh, that's ridiculous. Piss off, LeBron. Like, of the guys that you could think of in NBA history, is Klay Thompson the most prominent one when you think of role players that were just... I don't want to say superstars, because obviously he's not a superstar, but my definition of it. Just of the guys in NBA history that were just straight stars, I think Klay is the most limited, kind of in terms of what he did on the court. If you know what I mean, it's just that he's basically a 3-and-D guy. Always had, I mean, he is a 3-and-D guy. Always has been, always will be. But he did it so well that he wasn't just a 3-and-D guy. He was just an absolute star in his own right. Like, I think in his best year, Klay Thompson probably would have been a top 20 player in the NBA. I'd have to think about it, but nonetheless, like, there's just, what I'm saying here is there's a few guys that I could think of that are as limited, I guess, on the court as he is, but are so great at what they're great at that it's just elevates them to that star status. I hope I made a lick of sense there. I feel like this is one of those things where I know what I'm talking about, and I'm hoping that I explained it well enough, but not entirely. Piss off. I swear I tried to call timeout before he got on top of that for the jump ball. Yeah, still, it's a nice steal. And hey, I get to keep the ball. I was really hoping he was going to dunk on him, but I'll take a cute little layup too. Ooh. You know, that Dwight is definitely one of the older cards that I have by like a fair stretch. But at the same time, god damn it, his animations for whatever reason are just really good. Like, you feel every bit of the fact that Dwight is just an athletic freak when you play with him. God, I can only think for myself right now. And about a week ago, the point guards that I would have had on this team were both fairly short. I can't remember. I think I was running D-Rose with Who was it, with Gilbert Arenas at the time? Oh, no. Oh, that's tough. Against LeBron, I just think to myself how ridiculous it would be if I didn't kind of upgrade the team and get these bigger guards. Like, my goodness, this would be no fun whatsoever in terms of the matchup. LeBron would just be bullying me all day. Gary Payton a run yesterday too. The new one that just Kawhi series packs. And God, that guy's a defensive monster. But even still, I think of that card and I think of him just being backed down by LeBron or even by Ben Simmons, by Magic Johnson, and it is just unfair. Just straight up unfair. That's the one thing that kind of, I would say, bugs me, is I feel like height is such a huge difference in this game. And I mean, obviously, it is to some extent in real life. You can't teach height, or you can't teach speed. I believe those are the two expressions there. Are you kidding me? He greenlit that? But, yeah, with those guys, I hate that, like, if you don't have like a really tall point guard in this year's 2K, you're basically not competitively viable online. Because I don't know, like a lot of guys don't necessarily want to play that way online. Jesus Christ, what the hell just happened? But you kind of just have to, because I mean, if you're going up against Ben Simmons and you're playing with like, I mean, I'm just trying to think of the shortest point guard up. Oh, say you're playing with like Nate Archibald, the Galaxy Opal. You're gonna get absolutely destroyed. And even if you flip him onto the other team's shooting guard, like, do you really want a 6-foot Nate Archibald guarding, I don't know, Michael Jordan, Tracy McGrady, some of the other like shooting guards some like the major shooting guards that you come up against in this game? No. Like, you're gonna get beat every time. And it sucks, but I just feel like that's the way 2K was made this year. It's just height is the biggest game changer. And it's funny too, because position locks were supposed to change that. And then they just started dropping obnoxiously tall point guards left and right. I mean, case in point, I'm playing with Nikola Jokic, a 7-foot center who's listed as a point guard. And don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying it. I just think it's kind of a little bit of a cop-out, I suppose. I'm not gonna lie to myself. My playing 2K is made a lot easier by the fact that the dude I have running point can tower above most point guards. Obviously, this is a bad matchup for that case, just because I am going against another tall point guard. But yeah, say I were to come up online against a Derrick Rose, against a Jason, maybe not a Jason Kidd specifically, against like a Jeremy Lin or an Alex Caruso, you could take those guys to the woodshed all day long if you have a guy like Nikola Jokic, if you have a guy like Draymond Green, Ben Simmons. Even there's a point guard Tracy McGrady card now. Like, oh, ouch. that was a tough shot. I need to start paying attention. These guys are making shots. There it is. Kobe's shot in this game is just absolutely smooth as all hell. Definitely one of the better releases in this game. Actually, how? How? Jesus Christ. I have to face this team again. Okay. Man, this Magic gets gassed really quickly. Like, I know I run a lot of up-tempo, and a lot of just fast pace, pace and space type of offense, but still. Guys gassed at the end of the second quarter. Like, what's going on, man? Have some Gatorade. I don't know. Gatorade, do you need an oxygen tank? Like, can I get you something magic? Why are you already this tired into the game? Your minutes are not even that heavy. But it's fine. Honestly, I would feel comfortable even closing the game with Nikola Jokic because that card is ridiculous. Magic is obviously better on the defensive end, and that's why he's the starter. But, I mean, when you're comparing them against each other, it's not really that big of a difference. Magic's a bit better defensively, but Jokic can throw around his size a little bit more on offense. And obviously he's a great passer as well, so you don't really lose that much there. Good shooting start to this game. Joel Embiid again leading the way in terms of scoring. That driving kick game is absolutely deadly. I love that they're talking about this game potentially being a rout, and then they're talking about the great game LeBron is having. Come on, man. He's not even on the winning team. Put some respect on my name. Okay, yeah, no. As I'm talking about that, LeBron catches an oop and just viciously throws it down. Man, I'm not even sweating this. Nobody else on this team is beating me except LeBron. That being said, I should maybe sweat it a little bit more because I'm getting a little careless at this point. See, I was talking about height earlier and how it matters so much in like this year's 2K. I find even a guy like Chris Bosh is a little underwhelming, or so most people would say, just because, well, he's not a 7-footer. He's not that tall. He's a little bit undersized for bigs. And I just find that so stupid, but I don't know. Imagine trying to run Allen Iverson against somebody online, and they're running Dirk Nowitzki at shooting guard. You're losing that game. And if you manage to win that game, it's because the person that you're playing absolutely sucks at that game. Better yet. Actually, no, this is a terrible example. I'm going to leave this one at home. God, I love that Joel. Alright. So we're in the second half here. It's still a relatively close game. Oh no, if he scored that. I mean, I wouldn't have been too surprised because, I mean, it's LeBron James. But I would have been a little hurt, I'm not going to lie. Crap. What is that flyby animation, man? Oh, that's rough. Ooh, good steal there. And, oh my goodness, how did he get... See, this is what I talk about when I mean that you feel every bit of how athletic Dwight is in this game. Who was that? I think Eddie Curry was right under him, and it looked like it barely even mattered, because Dwight still went up there and just skied it in. And then Eddie Curry got his payback on the other end. Alright, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the NBA season resuming while I have a chance here. And hopefully this game doesn't, and hopefully that doesn't bite me in the ass and this game doesn't turn into like a 5-point game because I'm splitting my attention. But anyways, resumption of the NBA season. There's a lot of factors that go into the season resuming. And there's a lot of things that could potentially go right and wrong, but we're just going to assume and be hopeful that everything goes well. So in a world where they get their perfect scenario where they have their NBA playoffs, their season plays out and nothing catastrophic or potentially life-threatening happens, who would the title favorites be? Who would the sleepers be? And what changes? I'm going to start with title favorites. I think the Bucks should be the clear-cut favorite going into this. I think the fact that they're as good a shooting team as they do, or as they are rather, is really going to be an advantage for them going into any setting. And obviously that's thanks to guys like Brook Lopez being able to stretch the court at the 5 spot and giving Giannis all the space he needs to drive inside. If you're going East-West for these playoffs, I find it very hard to believe that anybody in the East would take them. I feel like they would be the odds-on favorite. Like, I think it's better than 50%. I wouldn't off the top of my head be able to tell you how much better it is than 50%, but I think there's a better than 50% chance that the Bucks come out of the East. I think the Raptors and the Celtics have a chance. The Raptors, an interesting point that a friend of mine made, shout out Curtis, wherever you are, is for an entire playoff series, the one concern, especially if you're going up against a great defense, say like the Bucks, who have the number 1 overall defense, or even say you make it to the NBA Finals and you go up against a team like the Lakers, who has the number 3 defense. Your major concern for the Raptors would be, where does the offense come from? Obviously, Pascal Siakam has elevated his game this season. He definitely is a star. But there definitely are concerns with him being the main option. Maybe not necessarily with him being the main option, but with him being consistent in terms of delivering that offense. And obviously, you have Kyle Lowry as well. That can be a different game changer for you. But in 2019, I don't think you want Kyle Lowry to be your top scoring option in an NBA playoff series. No disrespect to Kyle, still a great player, but I mean, you're being realistic about this. In that scenario, I almost think the Celtics are a better matchup for the Bucks, but then again, I really don't, because I think the Raptors have the best chance of knocking out the Bucks if it's East-West. There's no way that's foul. Just because I do think the Raptors' defense really is the difference there. I think they could definitely push that series to 7. I don't know what happens in that game 7, but I mean, obviously I would lean towards the Bucks. If we're talking sleeper teams in the East, I stand by what I was kind of talking about in my predictions video, where the Sixers are so damn talented. If they could potentially put it all together, they would definitely be a team I would happily throw in as a sleeper. Maybe even the Miami Heat, if you would consider them a sleeper, but I'm a little hesitant. Okay, that's terrible, but whatever. I don't agree with that call. But yeah, the Miami Heat have that potential. Jimmy Butler, I don't hate the idea of him being your number 1 option in a playoff series. And obviously you have Bam Adebayo there as well, and they have a lot of great role players. But there's definitely a difference between having a guy like a Jimmy Butler as your top star and having a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo as your top star. So I definitely think the East is the Bucks to lose. And the West, it seems like, has been the 2 LA teams all season long, and I still would stand by the fact that they're definitely the favorites out in that conference. But with the changes to how things are going to be played, especially if, I don't know, whether or not 2K is going to pump in crowd noise. They've talked about potentially, the NBA has talked about potentially using the 2K crowd noise to replicate a authentic feeling or whatever. But if they don't use that, it's just empty stadiums, empty courts, just kind of the coaches and the players and nothing else. you gotta think the West has potential to have some spoilers, and I would agree with the people that have said that the Rockets would be a tough out in just one of those like pickup scenarios. I still wouldn't necessarily like the Rockets in a series against a team like the Lakers, but the other things you have to consider is obviously factors of age, factors of health, and all that stuff. So like teams that maybe have guys that are a little more injury prone, this is going to be a condensed schedule, and you don't know what shape these guys are in. So it's going to be really interesting to think about. I do think the Lakers have a bit of a disadvantage in the sense that they are one of the older teams. And while you're definitely not betting against LeBron in any playoff scenario, really, he is obviously 35 years old. And that could catch up to him. I'm not saying it will. I doubt that it will, but it definitely could. But you even look at a guy like Anthony Davis. He's injury prone. He's been injury prone for a good portion of his career. You don't necessarily like the idea of him playing a shorter schedule where he has to be active and moving. Sorry. We're like, not active and moving per se, but you guys know what I mean. It's like when it's a condensed schedule, it takes a much bigger toll on the body. What a block. And you worry about a guy like Anthony Davis, who's definitely been injury prone for a good portion of his career. Put back. So I think the Lakers are actually, despite the fact that, you know, they're the number one seed in the West, they're actually at a bit of a disadvantage going into the system that they're going to have for the rest of the season. I think the Clippers are actually in a really good position. Their players are relatively a decent age, but then again, the whole question of injuries comes back. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard has been a little fragile over the past few years. Paul George has definitely had his fair share of injuries, and those are your two stars, so if they get hurt, you're pretty much boned at that point. Sorry to put it in such a vulgar way, but like, there's no way that Clippers team without PG and Kawhi is really doing major damage. In any playoff series, yeah, like I said, sleeper teams, Houston is definitely the top team to look at there. I want to say the Nuggets, but that is definitely not where I press the pass, but sure. But the Nuggets just don't terrify me. Like, they're definitely in that second tier with Houston, but I don't know. I think about playing the Nuggets in a playoff series, and it's just not the scariest thought. I think everything they have is relatively manageable. I don't think Jamal Murray is that terrifying as a co-star to Jokic. Jokic is obviously a great player and a great talent. Also, Kobe's just going nuts on defense. But yeah, like, I don't lose sleep. Like, if I was one of the better teams like the Clippers or the Lakers, I don't think I would lose, Jesus Christ, too much sleep over playing the Nuggets. Thanks for backing me up on that, LeBron. Yikes. So, for those of you that... Oh, what the... Oh, I have no idea what's going on right now. For those of you guys that did watch my playoff prediction series, obviously I did it for the 1-16 concept. So I had the two LA teams meeting in the finals, and I think despite everything that I've said, I think I do still back the Lakers to win the championship. I do feel like there's some personal bias in that involved, for sure. Obviously, I'm a huge LeBron fan, and that's what I talk about when I'm mean personal bias. But while I'm talking about LeBron, like, he's been a little wavery in terms of his effort level this season. But when he's wanted to lock in, and when he's wanted to be that killer, and when he's wanted to flex on a team, he absolutely has. And I absolutely think that come playoff time, LeBron has given you everything that he has in the tank at this point. I think LeBron, just like most of us, believes that this is his last best chance to win a championship. I should not have kicked that out or shot that. But yeah, if I'm picking a title favorite, it is the Lakers, and it is entirely because I'm banking on LeBron just going nuclear for the entire playoff series, whatever playoff series that he's in. And besides for guys like Paul George, Kawhi, Giannis, I don't think I really see a lot of guys that can really slow down, especially a playoff LeBron. So I think there's a good chance the Lakers win it. I think it's going to be a tough road, and I think it's going to be an interesting road in terms of this year's playoffs. But if you ask me to pick today, I would pick the Lakers. If you ask me who would be, I guess, my backup option there in terms of who I think might win, Clippers, Bucks, in that order. Actually, hell, while I'm doing it, ranking 1 to 5 in terms of the biggest contenders, in terms of who's going to win, I'm going to say Lakers, Clippers, Bucks, Celtics, and Raptors in that order. I think the Raptors and the Celtics are interchangeable. I would probably have the Rockets at number 6, Miami at number 7, the Nuggets at 8, and I don't think I would really go past that and worry too much about it. But yeah, that would definitely be the order 1 through 8 in terms of who I think has a legitimate chance of winning the title. And even the Nuggets, I feel like, are a stretch by including them in that like top 8. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yo, I'm sorry, can we back that up for a second? Can we just take in the dead fish that Pascal Siakam just took on that dunk? Okay, watch Siakam on this play. What the hell just happened to him? Oh my god. Oh my god. The dude looked like a fish out of water flopping for help. Oh my god, LeBron. That's not fair. That is so not fair. I would feel bad about it if I wasn't winning this game, but my goodness. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I cannot get over that play. That's crazy. Damn. I feel like I gotta get Pascal some sort of payback here, but I have no idea what I can do with like 2-something minutes left at this point and fumbling the ball like I just did. See, the one thing I really love about playing a tall team too is, okay, guess that goes down. But I love how switchable they are too, in terms of the fact that you can have Magic go guard the other team's power forward when you're picking up like in transition. Okay, so I so clearly pressed for Embiid there, but it is what it is. Oh, Jesus. That dunk sent absolute shockwaves across my PS4. Does anybody, for the 2-3 people that keep popping in and out of this, or 4 that keep popping in and out of this stream, does anybody remember what the new reveal date for the PS5 is? Because I was so looking forward to that, and then obviously with the things going on in America, that got delayed right now. But yeah, I'm super excited to see the PS5. I think there's so much possibility in terms of the engines that the PS5 is going to use and the technology to make gaming just so much more realistic and just an authentic experience. I'm thrilled. I'm really excited just thinking about it. I think with 2K, like in particular, like the crowds. Okay, I guess that shot missed. The crowds are going to be made so much more realistic by the PS5 technology. And don't get me wrong, crowds have definitely come a long way in most sports games. Since you had the cardboard cutouts in like the 2002 versions of the games that you would play. But yeah, I'm super excited. Obviously, in general, when you have new technology, it's always fun to see it maximized, and I think it'll be a good few years until 2K particularly maximizes the graphics of the new PS5. But when they do, I think I think it's going to be a really nice, crisp looking game, and hopefully they'll throw out some of the stupid animations that they have in this game. But then again, to be fair, as much as the 2K community clowns 2K for having some dumb animations and just being a little bit of a glitchy game, have you guys ever actually tried playing NBA Live? Because, my goodness, that game is awful on just so many notes. I don't know who's seen it, but there was the viral video of somebody playing NBA 2K Live, and you had Isaiah Thomas going up to contest the shot of a center and blocking him at the point of the ball. And not only is Isaiah Thomas short and not a good defender, but just the dude cannot jump that high. It was just one of the I think it was just straight up one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. It's just Isaiah Thomas looking like he was a prime Dwight Howard, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan skying high to defend the shot. I'm like, so as much as I can say I will get frustrated with 2K sometimes and I hate it sometimes, no amount of hate towards 2K will ever make me want to play NBA Live in the near future. Especially because I'm pretty sure that series got discontinued, but still. That being said, I am trying to expand like the arsenal of games that I'm playing recently. Gotten back into Apex Legends. I've started playing Madden a little bit more again. Even playing Dead by Daylight a little bit, which is a really fun game. You basically get to be in a horror movie with your friends or randos you meet on the internet. It's super fun. It has like all kinds of references to like Stranger Things, Scream movies, the Friday the 13th series, everything. It's a really fun game. It's really simple too. It's one of those games that you can just hop in and just have like a shit ton of fun with and not really worry about winning or losing, because you just enjoy being captured by the killer and put on these hooks anyways, and you're just screaming because you're living your best life repairing the generator 1 second, and all of a sudden you're being chased by Ghostface and you're just like shit. So definitely would highly recommend for anybody that needs just a fun casual game to play. But yeah, that wraps up this game, and this was actually, I'd say, fairly close up until the fourth quarter, where I kind of took over, and that would wrap up the second game of today's series. I do think I'm going to call it at this point. Before I do, just going to have a quick look at the stat leaders here. So for Miami, just LeBron was bullying all game. Although I will say he did shoot under 50%, which I'll take as a win. For my team, Joel Embiid for the second game in a row, leading scorer. Tim Duncan leads the team on the glass, and Magic Johnson leads the team in terms of assists. I don't think there's really any big surprises there. And then Kobe Bryant, an absolute monster on the defensive end. I do love that Kobe card. My God, I'm so happy 2K did him justice with that card, because they dropped that pink diamond and it was absolutely awful, and then they dropped the GOAT series card for Kobe and it looked fantastic. So yeah, thank you to those that popped in for the stream. It was nice chatting. I might do this a little more often now that these challenges are available. Just kind of hop in here, talk some basketball, talk some 2K and whatnot. I don't know when the next time I'll be streaming is, but I'll definitely make a couple of posts about it. And yeah, hopefully some of you guys catch this on the replay as well on my YouTube channel, if you have the patience to just sit down and kill like 90 minutes of your life with just some 2K action. By all means, I hope you do. And yeah, guys, I think that does it for me today. My name is JJ Buckets, and we are out of here.